by the channel. I appreciate it if you share this channel with others, if you like and subscribe. Give me feedback on what you'd like me to address in upcoming videos down in the comments. Um, I like when I see reviews of products, but one of the things that I find lacking in a lot of reviews is the follow-up. I've used this for a month or two, and here's what I like about it, what I don't like about it, what you need to know, what I wish I knew when I bought it, kind of review. I don't see a lot of those. Usually it's the initial unboxing, and they clip it together with, okay, here are some basic features of it and the basic use, but there's not the 6 month later, 2 month later even. And so I want to do that today with the Baofeng GM-15 Pro. I've got three of these, and you can see actually we're receiving something there. I've got the volume down. It's actually interference in the space. I don't know. I've got a video somewhere where I've got a wire trash can that I've set it in to filter out the interference, which seems to do a good job filtering the interference out, and then I get good receive from the some of the repeaters in the area. So now that much said, that is not the fault of this radio. That is some interference source in this building. I have a couple of computer servers and a couple of desktops and a couple of laptops and all sorts of possibilities for generating some interference. There's a downstairs below us and a lot of office space and medical equipment and who knows what that could be generating some noise, radio noise here. But I usually deal with it by setting the tones, the receive tones for the repeaters, and I have tested and we're able to communicate via the couple repeaters that it tends to interfere with. But in any case, that's not the radio's fault. Um, all in all, this is not a bad little radio. I had a comment not too long ago from somebody that just said they absolutely love these. This is their all-time favorite GMRS handheld. Um, I don't know that I'm going to go that far myself. I have just got one of the TDH3s unboxed to test, and I'll let you know in another video which one I would pick. I've got to tell you, I right now am leaning towards this one. If I change my mind, you'll have to wait and see. But I'll tell you some of the challenges that I've run into with this one. But let me just start with some good basics. Right now I've got it scanning, and I don't know if you can see. Yeah, there we can see the display. I finally cut the backlight cut off for a moment. The display is a little washed out at times, and so if you look at it at the wrong angle, and on camera here it's not doing too well. It's hard to read at times. I do have it scanning. The pound sign in the lower corner, if you do a short press, it'll stop the scanning. If you do a really long press, there we go, about 2 to 3 seconds, it starts scanning again. And I go back and forth between the two. Sometimes I'll just leave it on one of the repeaters that covers a good area around here. Or there are a couple that have some nets at night. We've also got a good weather radio function here. Well, oh, I've got my volume down.
So, the following is a winter weather bulletin.
Winter weather
the following
bulletin.
counties in North Carolina: Avery, Mitchell, and
Okay, so I'll have to check and see what's coming weather-wise for us. But that's the gray button in the upper right-hand corner. And if you do a long press again, you get back to your GMRS frequencies. Also, we've got, of course, a button up here to get to FM radio, which is great. Right now we're not tuned to anything. Let me get to one of our local FMs. Okay, so there we've got some good receive, decent sound. It's pretty good there. Pushing that again gets us back to the GMRS function. And then we've got the button down here to open up monitoring. So we can hear, if something's not breaking squelch, maybe we can hear it. Although I've got to say, a lot of times I've found that it will break squelch and we're still not quite able to hear it. I haven't tested any more expensive radios than this range on the GMRS side, and so I don't know. You have your basic up and downs to change your tuning with the frequencies that have been programmed. There is, well, let me rephrase that. I have not found any way to do a VFO tuning on this one. If you find that, I would love to know how you get into VFO tuning, because it might be nice to be able to just punch in a frequency to monitor. It is pretty well locked from what I can see for GMRS. Now they give you the basic GMRS channels, and then they give you a set of repeater channels with generic settings, and then they go into a DIY range for do-it-yourself. And I've got some up in this range that I've changed the text for. They have, let me see how many, 24 of those. 24 of those DIY channels. Now, I attempted to add something above that, which is on this channel 55, because we've got 54 memory bank locations. One of the things that I found, I used a tool on the computer to program it, wrote the config. It was actually a Windows only tool for a very similar radio model that you can program this radio with. And I tested that. That's how I got our text labels in on some of these repeater channels. Let me see if that's going to be visible once the backlight goes off. 3, 2, 1. Come on. Here we go. See, you can see I've got some text up there. I synced it so that I didn't have dual watch because I wanted to be able to have the description as well as the frequency, because we have some repeaters around that if you drive 20 minutes this way, the frequency has one tone and is one particular one. You could drive back the other way, it's a different tone and another repeater, and so I wanted a designation so I could keep them straight. When I added the 55th channel, though, one of the things that I found is I couldn't transmit above channel 54. I could change the configuration for the first set of channels, but if I added something above, even if it was a GMRS channel, like for instance the 462.550, which is repeater 1, I guess channel 15 in GMRS, I wanted another one configured for that, and I couldn't get it to transmit. That was a little frustrating to me. I don't know if other radios it's possible, but this one, from what I've seen so far, and again, if I'm wrong, please leave me a comment. I would love to know how you do that, because I tried in software, and then I tried manually on the radio itself as well to uh, set up a frequency, save it to a new memory location above 54, and then change the tone, and then attempt to transmit, and I did not get the red transmit light there, which was very frustrating to me, because in our region where I drive, there are some others that I'd like to have added in without having to take away some of the other repeater channels. So that was a little bit of a bummer. Battery life is the other big negative that I have found. Now, I know I had somebody say the battery life was great on these, and I guess perspective is everything. The frame of reference I have currently is the Baofeng 5RM, which you'll see is actually receiving our interference on GMRS. What is that? Channel 17, I guess, right now. But this radio, I many times listen to FM on, and I will listen for a couple hours, and then I'll go back over and get it scanning. I have at times done that without recharging the battery again that evening, and I still have pretty good power, maybe 2/3 of the battery available if you trust your little indicator in the upper right hand corner. This one, I did something similar. I did about 2 hours of FM listening in the morning, 9 o'clock ish. And then I moved back to scanning, let it scan all day. We don't have a lot of GMRS traffic in the area. And by about 8 o'clock in the evening, it was dead. It was just done. And I needed to recharge it. Now, this wasn't like the first day I had it, this was after I had used it for a few weeks. And so I think that's probably going to be par for the course for the battery life. Um, so I don't know if the standby power consumption is greater on this one than on the Baofeng 5RM, or if it uses more wattage when it's actually playing radio content, or if the battery capacity is just smaller. I haven't double checked the specs to compare. I'm going to guess battery capacity probably is smaller, just gauging by the size of it. I think we've probably got a little bit higher capacity battery in this one. Um, Again, I'd have to look at the specs and check, but I bet that's part of it. But it may be that it's a little higher power consumption on playback or scanning. And so I like the radio in general. There are some things I would love to have seen improved on. One is more custom channels that you can actually transmit on. Now, yes, I know I can set up receive channels. I think in other frequency ranges. Now that I say that, I don't know that I actually tested that. But I don't mind the idea that I can plug in frequencies to just receive, but it'd be nice on the frequencies it's licensed to transmit that it would actually transmit whether or not it's memory bank 1 or 90. So that's definitely a negative there. All in all, though, I can't, for the price, I mean, look, this was $30 or less, and not a bad little radio. It's fairly durable. I think this one has taken a couple of drops, and I really don't see a mark on it. It charges well via USB, which is awesome. We have so many USB chargers around. Good FM radio reception, good weather radio reception. One note with this and every handheld GMRS that I have found recently, they don't have weather alert. The only weather alert GMRS I have is an old blister pack, I think Motorola set of radios with with a little built-in stubby antenna, and those have weather alert. I wish more manufacturers, Baofeng, Tid Radio, Quansheng, whoever. I don't know that Quansheng makes a GMRS. I know they make amateur radio, but any and all of them, it would be a fantastic feature to have. It would probably save some lives. So please, cheap, low-end radio manufacturers, if you want to look better in the eyes of customers and be actually proactively saving lives while you're making your relatively cheap radios, please add weather alert. Please, it's a great feature. I don't know the technical challenges of adding it, but I know they make pretty cheap weather alert radios that are just standalone weather alert radios. I'd love to see it incorporated in more handhelds. Anyway, that's a little long-winded. Sorry about that, but that is more or less my long-term use review. It's a good radio, but I'm definitely at a place where I would entertain a different handheld to just see if it's better than this one was. I just did an unboxing of this one. This is the TID Radio TDH3. After I get to test it a bit, I'll come back and let you know, is this one a better radio than the GM-15 Pro? Or am I going to stick with the GM-15 Pro for my own use? But anyway, thanks for joining us, and make sure you comment and subscribe and like the video. And before I go, I want to mention hamradioprep.com. If you're looking to upgrade your license or get your ham radio license, I would highly encourage you to take a look at hamradioprep.com. They have some great courses over there to get you ready for your tests. They have emergency communications class. They have a Baofeng class, and I think a class on HF with shortwave frequencies as well. And so if you use the code that we have, you can get 10% off. And so at checkout, please make sure that you use the code RADIOCOMMS, RADIOCOMMS, and you'll get 10% off. I will get a little bit of a commission from it as well, which would be greatly appreciated. I thank you for that. And hopefully, we are all working on upskilling and getting to the next level so that after the blue sky days of rest and recovery from storms are over and we have the next storm come through, that we're all just a little bit better prepared, not just for ourselves and our families, but for our communities too. I think it's a really, really important thing. But thanks for stopping by. You all take care, and I'll see you soon.